This just in, you are looking at
we have a breaking
obviously
news
very
story to tell you
disturbing
about.
live shot there. That is the World Trade Center, and we have unconfirmed reports this morning that a plane has crashed.
As we come on air, we have serious news of a major, a very tragic alert for you right now. Incredibly, plane crashed into the world.
What's this other jet doing? Holy fuck!
Oh my God.
60 on page 153.
A huge explosion now, raining debris on all of us. We better get out of the way!
Good evening. Today, our fellow citizens, our way of life, our very freedom came under attack in a series of deliberate and deadly terrorist acts. Our war on terror begins with Al-Qaeda, but it does not end there. It will not end until every terrorist group of global reach has been found, stopped, and defeated. On my orders, the United States military has begun strikes against Al-Qaeda terrorist training camps and military installations of the Taliban regime in Afghanistan.
Afghanistan was just a different animal, completely different situation for me, for my unit at the time. I voluntarily went into the recruiting office and I said, sign me up. I didn't really tell family or friends. I told my family, like my mom, like, listen, I need to find a way to pay for the birth of my child and to make sure that my wife and my child have health care. So this is what I'm doing. The war was heavy in that time. My mother wasn't a fan of it, but she understood the type of person that I was. So the basic training environment is really, so the military's whole motto is to break you down to nothing. Literally, that's what they do. They break you down to nothing, to where you feel like you're nothing, where you are nothing, and then build you back up to become a human, right? To be someone productive in the society. We left Manas in Kazakhstan, and we're going from Kazakhstan over to Afghanistan, right, to Kandahar airfield. And what happened was, so there's a few moments actually that whole night, and I'll just describe it. The pilot and the low master come to the back, and it just gets really quiet on the plane, and you can just hear, all you can hear is the engines. The plane's already loud on a military bird, but they tell everybody to strap in, us all to get buckled up, take out your headphones and everything. I'm there in Afghanistan. We're all kind of joking around, and we walk in so we can know our units go, find us, come find us, because we all go at different clips. And I get off and I walk into Kandahar airfield, and I just remember seeing old blood, bullet holes on the wall, and I'm just like, what am I looking at here? Like, I'm just a kid from the Bay, like, you know what I mean? Obviously you see crazy stuff in the Bay, you know what I mean? But this is real. Like, there was a battle here at one point in this area right here, where I'm standing. That is someone's blood on the wall. That person may not even, they're probably in the ground somewhere. So that hit me. But when it really hit me is that night, I get to my hooch, and then I hear this rocket attack. It's in a British voice.
Rocket attack. Rocket attack. Rocket attack. Rocket attack.
And that's when I knew this is real. I was like, what did I sign up for? Where am I at? And I cried. I cried because I was like, when you sign up for the service, you don't know, they don't tell you all of that. You know what I mean? They don't give you all of that. And that's when I knew it was real. In role 3, you gotten blown up, you've gotten really hurt in a combat situation, and you may lose your life. And from role 3, for the most part, you're going to get flown out to Germany. We went to role 3. Obviously, we had been going there. We visited some of our battle buddies in the units who've been injured, along with the general. We go to role 3 and we just kind of talk to them, you know what I mean, to make sure they're all right. They get awarded their Purple Hearts, that type of thing. We went there to see one of our soldiers who had stepped on a mine and got really hurt. And he was going to get ready to go, and the general went to give him his Purple Heart. Right across from him was a 5-year-old girl, little girl, and she was caught in the crossfire of a battle, and I could hear her voice every single day. I've never stopped not hearing her voice. Obviously, I can't, I can't speak the language, but I'll never stop hearing her voice at 5 years old. It really, bandages on her head. You could see the bone on her leg, tears rolling down her eyes. A father who's sitting there can't do anything for her, and no doctors in sight. Where are the doctors at? Why is this little girl sitting here with her leg blown off? Freaking half of her shoulder was like I don't know, compressed. It's hard to. It was like it was compressed. It was hard to. If you see something like that, it looks like someone drew it. It was that bad, and I will never stop hearing her voice, stop hearing her crying, her whimpering. I'll never stop hearing that.
My fellow citizens, at this hour, American and coalition forces are in the early stages of military operations to disarm Iraq, to free its people, and to defend the world from grave danger.
After my first deployment to Afghanistan, like I said, I was completely different. No human being on this earth goes to war and comes back the same person. It's not possible. You're someone else when you return. Whoever you were before you saw that, you're no longer that human being anymore. That's everything about you is completely different. Because you have to process things differently. You see things differently.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
So there was when I went to when I went to Kuwait, that was I was already prepared from the first time I went to war. So when I got there, it was all like, it is what it is. But for the most part, like I said, Kuwait was more, running missions, different things like that.
Good evening. Tonight, I can report to the American people and to the world that the United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of Al-Qaeda.
I even got to go on leave while I was in Kuwait. It was a different thing. I'll obviously stay within Kuwait, but, Kuwait's a beautiful country, actually. So, yeah. When I was in Kuwait, we would take these little trips to they have these big, beautiful malls downtown. We would go there. We actually went to Texas Roadhouse in Kuwait. So yeah, there was time to decompress in Kuwait for sure. I actually got out from Fort Irwin, which is in the desert out here. So I drove home. I didn't fly home. When I got out the military, it was a weird feeling because I didn't really know what to do. I had no idea what to do with my time. No one, especially like that first night, I was like, drove home, got to the Bay, went to see, the mom and everybody. And, and it was just like, okay, what do I do now? Any military person will tell you it's very difficult when you get out. And some people can't deal with it because they don't have that structure anymore. There's no purpose, right? It's hard to find, and it's easy to say that your family is your purpose, and it feels great to say all that, but when someone's telling you where to be, where to go for every day for 13, 12 and a half, 13 years, and just one day that stops cold turkey, very difficult to deal with that mentally.
Last night in Kabul, the United States ended 20 years of war in Afghanistan. the longest war in American history.
The first thing I felt was anger when it ended, because what were we there for to begin with? What was the point of my daughter's best friend losing her father? What was the point of that?
The decision of one man to launch a wholly unjustified and brutal invasion of Iraq.
Why were we there? Why was I carrying? Why was I sending home brothers, sisters, fathers, uncles, cousins, sons, daughters? Why was I sending them home in boxes? What was the point? Kethric Cottrell, the young KC, could still be here right now. And what could I have accomplished as that human being versus what I accomplished now as this human being that I am now that you see before you? I don't sleep. I don't sleep anymore. Sleep is, it comes and it goes. I have PTSD, as every soldier does, as probably most people in the United States do. It's not just, obviously as a soldier we have other things, but that's a whole nother subject, sorry. But I have PTSD. I have dreams. I was on something called a ramp detail. And the ramp detail, we take the bodies of the fallen soldiers and we place them onto a plane in a ceremony. And it's very difficult for me to have ice in my drinks. I like cold drinks, but I don't have ice because when the bodies go home, in order to preserve the body, they pack it in ice. So I get a cold shoulder every now and then, and that's just from how many times I had to do ramp detail. Yeah. So I definitely have a lot of carryover. When I first came home, I had a lot of issues with anger. And I didn't know how to direct that. So at times I felt myself directing that anger toward people it didn't deserve to be directed at. I had an issue breaking windows a lot, putting my fist through walls, putting my fist through other people. Definitely had a lot of issues with anger, a lot of pain that I felt, but that's neither here nor there. But to see death on a daily basis, what that does to you, the moment you see that is the moment you change. That Xbox got me through Afghanistan. A lot of things that I was going through,